So we're gonna do our pre-trip inspection test. I'm gonna go with the clearance lights, left, right signals, emergency, high beam, low beams, and brake lights. That's gonna go with the instructor. Front of the truck, we're gonna check all lenses here, make sure they're all clean, not cracked or missing, and have proper color. Same with the clearance lights on top. Then we're gonna check vehicle leaning to the sides. If the vehicle is leaning to the sides, indicating suspension problems or flat tires under the vehicle. We're gonna check there are no signals of fluids such as oil, power steering, or coolant. Then we're gonna go to the engine. We're gonna go coolant. Got a coolant reservoir, caps on tight. There's no leaking, proper level. We got with the power steering fluid, caps on tight. There's no leaking, proper level. Hoses are not leaking. We go with the check-in. We're gonna with the check oil. So we got the cap on place, dipstick here, and it's a proper level. So we're gonna go with hoses, and we're gonna indicate all hoses, coolant, power steering hoses, any type of hoses are no crack, worn, frayed, or leaking hoses. All fittings are properly connected. So now we're gonna go with the air brake lines. So we got the air brake lines. They're right here. Air brake lines. Shaker lines for leaks, crack, worn, or fray. Fittings are secure and not leaking. We're gonna go with the electrical harness. Electrical harness right there, or anything that has cable. Electrical harness is secure, connected, not fray, and properly insulated. Now we're gonna with the steering column. Steering column. It's right here. This is gonna be our steering column right here. So steering column, it's gonna be properly connected on both ends, not cracked or bent, and no excessive play. Okay. We're gonna go with U joints, ball joints. U joints, ball joints. You can see them, put that right here. U joints, ball joints are properly connected, are not worn or loose, not cracks, and properly greased. You're gonna go with the steering box. Got the steering box right here. Steering box right here. It's right here. Steering box is properly mounted, not crack. Steering box properly mounted, not crack or leaking, no loose or missing nuts and bolts. We already mentioned the power steering hose, but it doesn't matter if you mention it again. Power steering hose are not cracked, worn, or leaking. Fittings are properly connected. So now we're gonna go with the pitman arm. With the pitman arm right here. Pitman arm is not bent, cracked, or loose. Properly connected to the gearbox and drag link. All right, drag link. This one right here is not bent, cracked, or loose. Properly connected to the steering arm. Steering arm is gonna be that one right there. All right. We're gonna go with the tie rod. Tie rod's gonna be the long one over there. Tie rod, it goes to side. So tie rod is gonna be straight, not bent or cracked. It's securely connected on both ends, and hardware is not loose or missing. So we're gonna go with the castle nuts. Castle nuts. We got a castle nut. We got a castle nut right there. And then we got another castle nut right there. So castle nuts are not cracked, worn, or loose. Pins in place and not missing. We go with ball joints. We got a ball joint right there, and then we got another ball joint right there. So ball joints are properly greased, not worn, and connected properly. So we're gonna go with the steering axle. So spring mounts. We have a spring mount right there, and then we have another spring mount over there. So spring mounts. Spring mounts are not cracked or bent, well mounted to the frame, no loose or missing hardware. Then we're gonna go with the spring leaves. So which is the spring leaves that connect it all the way over there. Spring leaves are not missing, are not shifting, cracked, bent, or missing, are properly connected to the spring mounts. So U-bolts and nuts. So U-bolts and nuts. So U-bolts right there and nuts. Nuts and bolts are properly connected, not loose or cracked bolts, not missing nuts. So we're gonna go with the shocks. Shocks are right there, down right there. Our shocks. Shocks are secure, not cracked or leaking, and are not collapsed. All right. So that goes with the steering axle. So now we're gonna go with the brake airlines. Brake airlines, or this one's right here too as well. So brake airlines are not worn, cut, bulging, or leaking. Fittings are secure and well connected on both ends. All right. So brakes, we can't see the brakes, but we have to mention the brakes. So brakes are have no oil or grease contaminants on brake pads or brake drums, which will cause a bad braking. So we're gonna go with the tires. Tires right here. So tires. Tires have no bumps, cuts, or butches on sidewalls and are free of nails or leaks. Now we're gonna go with the bell stem. So bell stem is right here. Bell stem. Bell stem is not bent, leaking, or touching the rim. Cap is not missing. And then on the tires, we're gonna mention the air pressure. Air pressure is gonna be 100 to 110 or manufacturer specifications. Must mention the use of tire pressure and gauge. And then for the tires as well, we're gonna go with the tire dead drip. So which is gonna be this one. Tire dead drip, must mention the use of tire tread depth gauge. So we're gonna do 432 on steering axle and 232 tractor rear axle. Axle and trailer axle. So 432 fronts and 232s on the back. Okay. So now we're gonna go with the rims. Rims are not cracked, bent, or aftermarket well. Rims are properly mounted to the tire. And then we're gonna go with the lug nuts right here. Lug nuts. So long nuts, all long nuts are present. No rust or shiny that will show looseness. No cracked nuts or broken bolts. Now we are gonna go to the side of the vehicle. So side of the vehicle, when we're gonna when you see lenses, so we got this one. A lot of trucks have more. So lenses have properly colored, not cracked lenses, mounted properly, no missing, and clean. Now reflectors, this one doesn't have reflectors, but we'll mention it later on. But we have to mention reflectors every time you see reflectors. Mirrors, we got mirrors right here. Mirrors are properly are mounted properly with no loose or missing nuts and bolts, clean, not cracked, and no stickers. So we're gonna have our fuel tank and depth tank there. We have to mention no punches or leaks on tanks or lines, securely mounted with strapped tight, and no broken hardware is not loose or missing. And then the tank caps are tight. And then we're gonna go with the frame. We got the frame right there. So frame is not bent, cracked, or deformed. No aftermarket drills or welds. Now we're gonna go with the battery box. Battery box is gonna be this one right here. Battery box. So battery box is batteries are secure, covers closed properly, electrical cables are properly insulated, connected to the terminals with no corrosion, and batteries are not leaking. So that's that. Now we're gonna go with the coupling system. So the coupling system is here. So we have to mention as well the tractor frame and trailer landing gear have enough clearance for turning. So airlines, tractor, airlines, trailer, and electrical cords, which is basically all three. So we're gonna mention they're properly connected to a tractor fittings and trailer gland hands. So they're connected to the trailer fittings and trailer gland hands. So red is gonna be for emergency. This might be this one. The red one's for emergency, and blue is for service. Blue for service. And so red emergency has no bulges, cuts, or leaks. Is not pinched or touching the frame or catwalk. Same with the blue service, has no bulges, cuts, or leaks, and it's not pinching or touching the frame or catwalk. Electrical cord, should be this one. Has no wires exposed. It's properly insulated and not touching frame or catwalk. Gland hand seals. Gland hand seals. Properly connected, not missing seals, not cracked, and properly seated. So now we're gonna go with the trailer apron. Trailer apron. Trailer apron is gonna be this one right here. All right. So trailer apron. Trailer apron. Trailer apron is not bent or cracked and properly connected to the trailer, properly lubricated, and there's no gap. So now we're gonna go with the fifth wheel skid plate. Fifth wheel skid plate, it's that one right there. Fifth wheel skid plate, it's properly mounted to the platforms, no cracks or bends, and it's greased and there's no gaps. So release arm is gonna be this one right here. Release arm is not bent, broken in any way, opens and closes properly, should be in the lock position. So platform, overall, on the platform right there, the platform it's properly mounted to the fifth wheel and slider, no cracks or missing nuts or bolts, and pin in place. We have nuts and bolts all around there too. All nuts and bolts are present with no cracks or looseness, no crack or missing teeth. We have our slider right there. It's properly mounted to the frame, no cracks or worn out nuts and bolts. And then we kick pin. You can't see the kick pin, but basically the kick pin is gonna be right there inside in the middle. So kick pin is properly attached to the trailer and it's not worn, cracked, or bent. And then there are locking jaws that go around the kick pin. Is right there. You see that? Locking jaws are properly locked around the kick pin with no cracks and properly lubricated. And I will also check for excessive play between kick pin and locking jaws. I have to mention that. Now we are gonna go to the trailer. We're gonna go to the landing gear. Gonna go with landing gear. Landing gear is fully raised, no missing parts, and crack handle secure. So pro frame has no cracks and hardware. It's not loose or missing. Pads are not bent or broken, and for your options, again you can mention this clearance between the landing gear and the tractor frame. Now we have reflectors. Came back to the reflectors. Dot reflecting tapes are clean. Walls placed properly colored and not missing. Now trailer cross members and frame. So we got the cross members and then the frame connecting together. Now broken cross members, frame is not cracked or bent, and it has no aftermarket holes or wells. Trailer floor has no holes. And then again we're gonna have to mention the reflectors. We got more reflectors. Wall space clean, not missing. Got lights, and then we're gonna go to the back. Lights, all lights have proper color, clean, not cracked or missing. And again, dot reflecting tapes on the bottom right there, and then top. It's properly affixed to the vehicle. Wall space clean, not missing or flatted out. Now, so that's gonna be your Pre-trip inspection.